Be strong.
Howdy everyone, this is Jim from JimKiDo. Welcome back. We've been going through a number of changes that I've been working through on this ship. So we showed previously what the original ship looked like, and as you can see, I've made some updates. We've got so there aren't any large containers on this ship in the original build, but I needed something that was going to be able to help me grab all of the resources that I've mined here and take that with me on the mission, because I will obviously need them. I will obviously need to be able to manufacture components as things get damaged. So I needed something that was a dedicated resource container, and this was what I came up with. So this gives me enough room overall to work around, and I'm not using up all the space of the hangar anyway. So here's my workhorse, and this is just big enough. This space is just big enough to house this and the large container, so this seemed like a better setup than to otherwise potentially adjust the workhorse to function with the connector on the floor. So additionally, I've changed the windows here to blast doors that won't open, because we have the turret here up front, and since this will be a major target, I wanted to make sure that there was plenty of options for those to be hit. You know, if they were to be hit, then the inside's not as easily compromised. Now, what's not obvious here is that there are actually a number of decoy components placed here in the bow. So those will actually take precedence when attack is made on the ship. There's a number of them here at the top as well, so you can see them here, 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 and I can't remember if there's one down here or not. Regardless, I've made some other changes here underneath the floor, and I need to go and double check why. Let's see. Okay. What in the world? Why are these on? Oh, God. This is going to be annoying. I think I know what happened. So earlier when I took a look, So one of the changes that I made down here is, crap, didn't quite go far enough. There we go. So I've added these welder points because the ion thrusters are apparently close enough to damage each other. So I've added some welders to try and counteract this issue, and I've done it on both sides. Hopefully this will be enough to keep them from damaging each other on the trip out to the space base. And additionally, I've tried to go back and find that welder that I missed. Apparently there is a welder that still hasn't been accounted for. But in looking for it, so there's welders all up and down these sides that end up repairing both the turrets as well as the engines. And I noticed that this one didn't have one. And what was wild is that it's the first thing that's going to get shot at. So it's like, oh my gosh, this needs to be corrected. So I went ahead and found a place in which to sink another welder right here, and hopefully that'll keep this in good repair. But I still haven't found the other welder. So these are the changes that I've made so far. Let's see. We've got the welders down underneath the floor of the hangar. So all those, and I've taken out some thrusters to do that. Some of them hydrogen, some of them ion. Added the large container here for mineral resources. We've switched out those windows in the hangar, which never really made a lot of sense to me anyway. Well, let's take care of this real quick. You may have noticed also that I've made some adjustments to the site. So I've taken out the solar panel towers up here on this ridge. I'm going to be taking this one out too, because if you notice up in the upper right hand corner it says unsafe grids, and it says press LB, RB and the menu button to find more information. When you do, you'll get a listing of all the things that it's got an issue with that is otherwise impacting performance on the game. So right now the main issue is that the scene is too complex and I have too many grids, and it wants me to remove grids. So it also mentioned that the solar panel towers are causing an issue. So I'm going to grind down this tower and grind down the tower over there and pull that whole grid out. I'm going to make sure that the other grids are cleaned up as well. And that will end up hopefully improving overall performance, because once I leave this place, I'm probably not coming back for the life of the mission. So I'm going to try and clean up this place so there's no memory lagging that's trying to account for the rest of this. And this actually, all of these end up adding to the overall size of the save game. So you don't want that getting too large, or it does become much more laggy. And this is an Xbox One X, so that's something of an issue, obviously. But these are overall the changes that I think will suit this mission better. Outside of this, there was one other area that I wanted to cover, and that is an odd. It's a bug. I look at it as a bug, but if you notice, when I try and go and address these plates, I'm actually getting the things that are underneath those plates are what are showing up on my selector, when I've got my welder selected, or when I have my grinder selected, it's not seeing the plate. And so unless you can get to an edge like this, then you can't, then only then can you actually see it and either fix it or grind it. And that's kind of the problem that I'm having right here, is that I can't get to the edge unless I basically regrind all of this to get to that edge. It's not really worth it to me right now. But it is a bug. I'm not exactly certain how to otherwise address it beyond grinding out whole areas beyond where those plates are set to address them. I don't know what to do yet. Let's see. Anything else? Oh yeah, the cursor. So I went and actually purchased this cursor from one of the outposts nearby, and I made some adjustments. So the cursor is actually meant to be atmospheric, and that's great, but I'm not going to be anywhere near an atmosphere. So what made more sense to me was to go ahead and get rid of the atmospheric thrusters and replace those with ion thrusters. I didn't want to use up more of the hydrogen than is already getting used up. So the idea that I had was I would instead replace some of the spacing that was lost or that was gained from removing the atmospheric thrusters and adding batteries. So that ends up accounting for the extra thrust that I'll get from the ion thrusters that I would otherwise just have dead weight in space. And I'm still working out some additional armor options to make that work better. And then once I get done, I'll go ahead and post this on to the mod.io site as well, because I think this ends up working better for me and for the needs of the mission. So beyond this, the ship is done. So the launch will be in an upcoming video. Meanwhile, thanks everyone. Appreciate your attendance. Everyone, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.